What is up guys, welcome back to the Figure Hideout. It has been 2 long years. This DX26 Obi-Wan Kenobi was one of Hot Toys' summer releases back in 2022, and it's finally shipping now. Can you believe that the 2 Clone War version Obi-Wan that was announced later than this one have already been out for 4 months? Even figures like the Amazing Spider-Man 2.0, which was announced at the same time, have already been out for over a year. But as they say, good things come to those who wait. So now let's dive into this long-awaited Obi-Wan. Speaking of the TV show, it was highly anticipated before it came out. However, compared to other Star Wars shows like The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, the storyline was a bit weaker. Fortunately, Disney knows how to play the nostalgia card. Ewan McGregor starring, plus Hayden Christensen, a final duel between the red and blue, and even a cameo from Liam Neeson. And of course, the famous line at the end.
Hello there.
Oh, this is pure fan service. Now let's start with the packaging. It comes with a brown shipping box on the outside. The box inside follows the standard Star Wars black design. Once you remove the outer layer, you get a similar design to the DX28 Darth Vader's box. The front features character images with a blue theme. Pull out the inner box, there's a cardboard with a brief description of Obi-Wan. The first layer inside contains the body and the special edition Anakin lightsaber set. While the lower layer holds the hands, lightsabers, power supply, and all the small accessories, along with the parts for the diorama base. Firstly, the body. The figure is about 30 centimeters tall. It is the same as previous versions. This version of Obi-Wan's costume still has that classic Jedi Master look, with multiple layers of clothing. Some of these layers are real and some are not. The layer on the very outside is attached with Velcro to keep it in place. And the white colored inner robe is a full piece that covers all the way to the arms. The fabric feels a bit rough. Well, you know it, he is a fugitive now, surviving by cutting fish on Tatooine. The color is a warm gray, also matches the fallen state of Obi-Wan. Compared to the official images, I feel like the clothing in the final product is a bit darker, probably because Hot Toys used different colors of threads in the fabric, giving it a more textured look. The one in the photo looks quite plain. The white inner robe has a noticeable weathered appearance too, which is quite well done. The belt is faux leather with a separate belt buckle piece that features some weathering effects. There's less equipment on the belt compared to his Jedi Master days. It includes a lightsaber hook, a small pouch, and a holster. The pouch is made of soft rubber, and the holster is faux leather. The cutting and texture are nicely done, with some small gold buttons on the surface. This little strap is magnetized for easy attachment. The pants are made of a smooth, silk-like material with some paddings in the thigh area for added shape. Hot Toys used soft rubber for the boots instead of faux leather, meaning the entire boot and these wraps around it are molded in one piece. This makes it essentially a tall boot, but because of this design, the ankle joint is completely restricted. You wouldn't be able to move the feet at all, which is probably the biggest disadvantage of this figure. In terms of appearance, they look just fine, with some wrinkles and color variation in the wraps. Now let's focus on the head sculpt. Unsurprisingly, the final product has a noticeable improvement over the official images. The prototype had a face that didn't look quite like Obi-Wan, and the expression was a bit too harsh and angry. First off, this is a completely new head sculpt, different from the 2 Clone War versions. The expression still features a slightly open mouth. In terms of likeness, I think this is the best Obi-Wan head sculpt Hot Toys have made so far. From every angle, it looks very much like Ewan, with detailed wrinkles around the eyes and forehead. In this show, the pimple on Ewan's forehead is not there for some reason, and Hot Toys replicated that detail in this figure. The paint job makes his skin looks a bit more weathered and worn, and it definitely looks older than the previous versions. The hair has also been slightly changed from the official images, with the final product having a more floating look on the sides. The hair sculpt is very nice, it is layered and even has some flexibilities in these areas. This head sculpt does not have a neck, so the rolling eyeballs can be adjusted from the bottom. As for accessories, the default hands are a pair of open hands, with additional hands for holding the lightsabers, 2 different gripping hands, a peace sign hand, and this one that you see me doing at the beginning of every video. I really like this one, it is a gripping hand made for the force releasing pose. There are 2 lightsaber hilts. They are exactly the same to the ones from the previous versions. The figure also comes with a regular blade and a swinging motion blade. The lightsaber can be lit up by using this power supply. The special edition exclusive accessory is the Anakin's lightsaber and a box. The box is made entirely of plastic. It has some sculpted wooden texture and wooden paint job. Anakin's lightsaber is the same as previous versions as well, and it comes with a piece of cloth. This also feels pretty rough in texture. This can be used as a lining in the box, and then just place the hilt on top of it. Other accessories include a projector. It is the same as always, with an image of Bail Organa. There's also a telescope that looks very much like a gaming controller. This thing is not big, but it has a lot of small details on all surfaces. This little droid cannot transform like how it does in the show. The surface detailings and paintwork are very nice, with multiple colors and black lines to bring out the details. Lastly, there is a blaster. It's painted in this metallic gray with a very Star Wars style design. It even has a small scope on the side. Since the figure did not come with a gun holding hand, you will need to use this gripping hand and feed the finger through the trigger guard. Or you can just holster it. There's also a cloak, which has no sleeves. It has a similar texture to the main outfit. And because the fabric is pretty thin, it drips quite well after some light adjustments. It's the only piece of cloth that comes with wired sections, with the bottom and hood both having wires for posing. The diorama base uses the same mold as the DX28 Darth Vader base, but Hot Toys added a big rock right here to differentiate the two. There are 3 floating rocks that are made up with multiple smaller stones. The sculpting and paintwork matches the base, featuring gray tones and some white and moss looking green. To assemble, you just insert these small plugs into the rocks. Attach the pegs and waist clamp to the stand. And finally, connect everything to the base. The effect is very cool, as the figure can hide most of the transparent stand. It makes the rocks look like they are really floating. Now this is a really impressive display option. In terms of articulation, the head has a limited up and down and side to side movement. It can rotate 360, but be careful to not damage the clothing with the sharp edge of the hair. The arms can lift forward, backward, and to the side up to 90 degrees. The elbows can bend slightly over 90 degrees. The torso has limited movement due to the layered clothing, with only slight forward, backward, and side-to-side tilt. The legs can kick to the side about 60 degrees, forward almost 90 degrees, and backward only about 10 degrees. The knees can bend more than 90 degrees. As mentioned earlier, the ankles can only do rotations. They cannot tilt to any directions at all. Overall, after such a long wait, I am really pleased with the final result of this DX Obi-Wan. The improvement to the head sculpt is a huge plus, and compared to the initial prototype, it significantly enhanced the figure's overall appearance. This is probably my favorite Obi-Wan head sculpt so far. While the figure could use a few more hands, the other accessories are quite plentiful. And the diorama base, although it is not a new piece, but it works beautifully with the floating rock effect. Alright, there you have it, the DX26 Obi-Wan Kenobi made by Hot Toys. I hope you all have enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Remember, play with the style. I'll see you guys in the next one.